Hey, what is up, mortals? It is SBurkVA here, and welcome to part 2 of What If Deku Was a Power Ranger. Just wanted to greet you guys by saying, sit back, relax, you're in for a treat. And so, we begin. Midoriya and Bakugo were surrounded by putties on an isolated street. The boys flashed back to their encounter with these creatures 10 years ago. But both had trained hard since that day. Where most individuals would freeze, the boys knew what to do. The putties charged at them. Their red eyes gleamed with destructive intent. Midoriya attacked the oncoming horde. The green-haired boy delivered powerful and fast blows on his gray-clad enemies. He caught the punch of a putty and finished him off with a kick to the gut. As quickly as he would knock out one putty, another would take its place. Midoriya realized that Ninjor was right. It is the putties' numbers, not their strength, that is problematic. Midoriya knew he needed to finish them quickly or he would be overrun. The Greenette continued to fight them off. Bakugo, too, was holding his own. The Ashen Blonde's strikes rained down hard and fast. The putties may have been many, but Bakugo was a human wrecking ball. He laid out enemies without a moment's thought. The boys found themselves back to back. Neither one had broken a sweat or was even breathing heavy. How many you got so far, Scales? I counted 10 so far. How about you? Same here. Damn it. I should have twice as many as you. In your dreams, Kachan. In your dreams, Kachan. The boy's friendly quipping was interrupted when the remaining putties started to act strange. Their hands began to shapeshift. Some of the putties transformed their hands into swords, others into sphere-like shapes. The boys guessed these spheres were some type of club. Midoriya looked in Bakugo's direction. Hey, Scales. What do you say we finish this? I'm not eager to find out what those weapon hands can do. For once, I agree completely. How about we use Maneuver 7? I was thinking the same thing. Midoriya placed his hands in front of his chest. One hand was placed over the other with a space between them. The emerald-eyed boy then began to focus his energy. A sphere formed in the space between his hands. It was green in color, and lightning sparked off it. Bakugo focused his energy into his right hand. The energy formed a T-Rex head around it. The putties gathered and charged at the boys en masse. The gray-clad warriors waved their weapons high, their eyes glowed with murderous intent. Midoriya released his attack first. Bakugo released his a moment later. The years these two spent training together made such synchronicity child's play. Midoriya's attack, called Dragon Orb, hit the putties first. On impact with the gray creatures, the orb exploded into a storm of lightning. Half of the putties were vaporized, and the other half were frozen in place. Bakugo's T-Rex head expanded in size to match the group of remaining putties. The head came in and chomped down on the group of clay warriors with its massive jaws. The attack hit with brutal force. The remainder of the gray soldiers were destroyed. How'd you like those, clay brains? We call that our holiday special. I still think the name Holiday Special is a little too flippant, Kachan. Come on, Scales. It's a perfect name. I have red energy, you have green energy. Those are holiday colors. I know, Kachan, but I still wonder how people are going to take us seriously as heroes if we go around yelling, Holiday Special! Now you think too much, Scales. By the way, how many did your attack finish off? I counted 10 for me and 10 for you. That brings our totals to 20 apiece. Damn it, we tied again. Well, there's always next time. You got a point. One of these days, I'm gonna outdo you. I look forward to the attempt. Bakugo got a look on his face that was between curious and annoyed. You noticed, didn't you? Midoriya nodded his head. Yeah. These putties didn't return to powder like the others. Gah, this must be Ninjor's work. Just then Ninjor's voice spoke into the minds of the two boys. It was indeed my work, boys. Good job handling my little surprise attack. Bakugo yelled back at his master. What the hell, Blue Plate? As energetic as ever, Bakugo. Ninjor then appeared in a flash of lightning. The armored man was holding a small briefcase by the handle in his right hand. Master, was this a test? Obviously it was a test, Scales. Both boys had grown used to this kind of thing over the past 10 years. Ninjor's teaching method focused on learning through action. The armor hero would put the boys through different simulations and trials. Ninjor would teach martial arts through hardcore combat exercises. It was a hard way to learn, but the boys had done well under these methods. You are both correct. I gave you this test to see if you are ready for the next level of training. Ninjor lifted the briefcase toward the boys. What's in the case? Bakugo had to use all his restraint to keep from asking Ninjor what was in the box. What's in the box? Ninjor motioned for the boys to come closer. When they approached, the blue man popped the locks on the case and revealed what was inside. Both boys were shocked by what was inside the briefcase. Both were silent for several minutes. But Bakugo, being the character that always said what was on his mind, replied in his usual harsh tone. Belt buckles! You went through all that drama and made us take that stupid test for belt buckles! Your personality is as lovely as ever, Bakugo. These are not belt buckles. They are your power morphers. These will turn you into full-fledged Power Rangers. Power what now? I have told you both about the morphin grid. What I haven't told you before is that you are not the first individual to wield the powers of the grid. In a multitude of other worlds and dimensions, there are always warriors who rise to defend their worlds when evil arrives to attack the innocent. These warriors go by the name of Power Rangers. What an awesome name! Yeah, if these guys are so important, how come we haven't heard of them before? This video is sponsored by SoundPeats and their new True Free 2 wireless earbuds to provide the next level of quality and comfort. Ever gone out for a run and have to readjust your buds every 5 minutes? How about worrying about getting caught in the rain and ruining your $200 earbuds? Well, those days are behind you. With an ergonomic design created to stay on even through the most rigorous workout or function through a cascade of rain with its IPX7 water resistance, enjoy 20 hours of battery life and seamless switching between earbuds without interruptions and at a fraction of the price of most premium earbuds. Check out the new 2 Free 2 wireless earbuds in the link in the description. Also know that using the link below, you won't only get an excellent audio experience. Still, you'll be supporting the channel, so we can continue to provide the highest quality content possible. Each purchase helps, so if you're on the lookout for a new pair of buds, we've got you covered. Now, back to Ninjor! Because this dimension has never had a team of Power Rangers before. Midoriya heard these words, and understanding clicked in his mind. You're talking about parallel universes, and the multiverse theory, right? Correct, Midoriya. You see, boys, I am not originally from this world, or even this universe. I was sent here by my superiors when the grid extended here. My mission was to analyze the situation and report back, but things got complicated. You're talking about us, right? If it was only you two, I would have been a happy man. You see, when I arrived, I found a strong putty presence. Your world may not have Power Rangers, but your world does house enough powerful heroes to keep them in check. For the moment. It was Bakugo's turn to show his intelligence. You think someone is commanding the putties? You told us the putties are just foot soldiers, right? That means you think a big bad is behind their presence here. Ninjor was not surprised that these two figured out what was going on. His 10 years training the boys had shown him how intelligent and physically capable they were. The armor-plated man thought to himself that these two and the rest of the group would be a legendary group of rangers. Ninjor handed the boys their morphers. They were engraved metallic squares that did very much resemble belt buckles, with lightning bolt designs. In the center of each was a round bronze coin that was engraved with symbols that matched the boys' seals, a dragon claw for Midoriya, and a T-Rex for Bakugo. Anyway, now that you have earned your morphers, you will not need those seals. Ninjor made a hand sign, and the seals faded from the boy's arms. Midoriya panicked when he saw this. I thought you said we needed those seals. Our family and friends would be in danger. That was then, Midoriya. The seals were only a short-term solution until I got the morphers fixed. What do you mean, fixed? The morphers were made to draw in energy from the grid and infuse it into a warrior. Since you two can already draw power from the grid on your own, some adjustments had to be made. Fortunately, I had some help. If not for that, it could have taken much longer to get the morphers and my other tech back up and running. The boys seemed pleased with this explanation. They could tell that Ninjor was not telling them everything, but they expected that from their master. They believed it was Ninjor's way of getting them to find their own answers. You two have applied to take the UA entrance exam, correct? Both boys nodded in agreement. Good. That gives me 10 months to teach you how to use the morphers. That way you both can give the exam everything you got. Both boys were excited to start this new training. Ninjor threw the boys a piece of paper. It had an address printed on it in Ninjor's neat handwriting. The boys never understood how a guy could write so neatly wearing armored gloves. All the time. I know this place. It's a beach near our neighborhood. Good. Meet me there tomorrow afternoon. We will begin your morpher training. Ninjor then disappeared in a flash. The man knows how to make an exit. The next afternoon, the master and students met on the beach. On time as usual. Let's get started. Take your morphers and hold them out in front of you. You then need to say, "It's morphin' time." This will activate your ranger form. The boys each had a look of confusion on their faces. Midoriya's curiosity got the better of him. Ranger form, sir? It will be easier for you to experience it than to have me explain it. But before you do that, let me unlock them. The boys took out their morphers. The armored man placed his finger on the power coins. Ninjor's finger glowed a bright blue on contact with it. A loud clicking sound came from within the morphers. The two teens thrusted their morphers out in front of their bodies and screamed at the top of their lungs. It's morphing time! The boys were enveloped in energy. Bakugo was enveloped in red and Midoriya in green. Bakugo, we're a Christmas tree. Damn right! This energy wrapped around their bodies and coalesced into tight-fitting suits and helmets. When the light cleared, the boys were amazed by the new outfits. Both suits were color-coded for the boys. Each one consisted of a helmet with a design associated with their animal. The outfit was covered in a diamond design. Midoriya's suit also had a gold-colored shield that covered his chest and shoulders. Cool suits! But what's with the spandex? It's not spandex. It's a self-assembling nanofiber that is fortified by your grid energy. Use all the fancy words you like, Master. It still looks like spandex! Ninjor just shook his head from side to side in annoyance. Bakugo had grown a lot over the last 10 years, but he still had a very strong rebellious streak. Let's put that discussion aside. Jump as high as you can! Right now! The boys thought this was a silly order. Both boys crouched down and pushed off with all their might. They expected to jump no more than a few feet off the ground, like normal. But both boys started to scream when they jumped not feet, but, well, a medium-sized skyscraper in altitude. As you might imagine, that's a bit of a surprise. They both ended up freaking out and turning around in the air, rather randomly. Ending up, well, as you might expect, with them landing flat on their backs in the sand. That was intense. How the heck did we do that? Those suits are more than just good-looking. They are allowing the grid energy to flow through your bodies at a higher rate than before. The seals were designed to restrict the flow of grid energy through your bodies and allow them a chance to get used to the energy. Those morphers are designed to let the energy flow through you at the maximum rate your bodies can handle. As you get stronger, the morpher will allow more energy to flow into you and give you access to more abilities. Will we be able to use these in the entrance exam? I will get you the forms needed to use this equipment. Ninjor paused while Midoriya and Bakugo got to their feet. For the next 10 months, I will be training you on using this new power. If all goes according to plan, you two will pass the entrance exam with flying colors. Both boys were excited to start training, and they let out a cheer in anticipation. Over the next 10 months, Midoriya and Bakugo trained most afternoons with their ranger suits, but Ninjor made sure to give the boys plenty of time to study for the written exam. They also worked on improving their hand-to-hand combat skills. Ninjor was impressed by how quickly the two boys got the hang of their suits. After only 2 months, the boys were able to move and spar with relative ease. The blue-plated master thought it would take them most of the 10 months to do that. When he and his assistant were repairing the morphers, one of the units they had to take out was the built-in instruction manual. Most other Power Rangers would be imprinted with the knowledge of how to move and operate in their suit from the first time they put it on. But since the suit and the morphers had to be so drastically altered to function in this dimension, the normal operating instructions would be essentially useless. For most, this would be a nearly impossible hurdle to overcome, but Midoriya, Bakugo, and the others were performing expertly. What the children did not get right away, they worked at. They were a truly driven group. On the day of the entrance exam, Midoriya and Bakugo arrived at the gates of UA. Both boys were impressed by the view. This was the school that trained their favorite hero, All Might. They both looked like they were now more motivated to pass the entrance exam than ever. As the boys walked up to the main building, Midoriya was lost in thought. The green-eyed boy was so lost, in fact, that he ran into someone. This sudden impact shook Midoriya from his deep thoughts. Oh, I am so sorry. You okay? You aren't hurt, are you? With his attention restored to reality, Midoriya took in the sight of the person he was apologizing to. She was a tall girl with blonde hair and aqua blue eyes. She was dressed in a plaid outfit. Midoriya could not help but think that, well, she was pretty. Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. The blonde girl looked over Midoriya with a critical eye. This examination made Midoriya nervous. The greenette had never been very good with girls, but the way the girl was analyzing him, he figured she was going to do or say something hurtful. That thought made Midoriya start to sweat, as you might imagine. After what seemed like the longest minute in history, the girl smiled and offered up her hand. "My name is Melissa Shield. How are you?" Midoriya was rendered speechless by Melissa's action. Midoriya had been kind of popular in middle school, mostly because he had Bakugo as a friend, but girls had never looked at him seriously. He figured it was because he was so, well, plain-looking. And a girl that looked like Melissa had never been this friendly toward him. Midoriya was spellbound for a minute, but regained his senses quickly. He reached out to accept her hand. I'm pretty." Midoriya freaked out that he had said something so stupid. You're pretty?" "My name is Izuku Midoriya. It's nice to meet you, Melissa." "Nice to meet you, Izuku Midoriya. Just to let you know, I am nervous about the test, too. I think everyone's on edge." As the two teens exchanged greetings, Midoriya suddenly saw a blue aura around Melissa. The green-eyed boy was not as good at sensing grid energy as Bakugo, but Midoriya knew that this girl was a grid user. Melissa turned to enter the building. "Good luck on the test. See you later." "I just talked to a girl," Midoriya thought to himself as he watched Melissa walk into the testing hall. As the blonde girl walked away, Midoriya stared at the thin blue aura she was emitting. Midoriya would have stood there in shock all day if Bakugo had not been there to snap him back to reality. The spiky-headed boy punched the greenette hard in the arm. If Midoriya hadn't been grid-enhanced, his arm would have been broken. "Get your head out of the clouds, Romeo. Let's pass the test before you start planning your wedding. Got it?" "No, I wasn't planning a wedding, Kachan. I think that girl was a grid user." "Of course she was. It doesn't surprise me. Remember what Blue Plate told us?" Midoriya remembered what Ninjor told them after training a few days before. Ninjor had told the boys that there were other grid users, and that they would be at the entrance exam. They were not given their names, or what these individuals looked like, or even how many there were. They asked for more information on the grid user. The only thing Ninjor told them was that the boys would know them when they saw them. With those thoughts in the back of their minds, Bakugo and Midoriya then entered the testing site. They entered a large auditorium filled with many students, probably more than 1,000. All of them were there to get into UA. The voice hero, Present Mike, stood at the podium in front of the gathered crowd of students. The voice hero explained, quite loudly, that the practical portion of the test would be a fight against a faux villain, or rather, several faux villains, in the form of robots. Each robot had a different point value based on how difficult it was to beat. Midoriya started to go all fanboy at the sight of the voice hero. Bakugo was going to tell him to shut up, but a blue-haired boy with glasses beat him to it pretty soundly. The spectacled teen then asked Present Mike why there were 4 types of robots listed on their handouts. Present Mike thanked the teen for his question. The DJ hero then told the test takers that there was a 4th type of robot that was worth 0 points. A zero-pointer, if you will. The teens could try to beat it, but there was really no point. The 0-pointer was more an obstacle to avoid than one to overcome. With that explanation over, Present Mike told the test takers to go to their assigned testing field. The students then dispersed from the auditorium. Next we see Midoriya. He's standing at the entrance to a faux city. The green teen had morphed into his ranger suit and was waiting by the start gate for the test to begin. Midoriya could sense 2 grid signatures in the crowd. The green teen looked to his right and saw them. 2 individuals were wearing ranger suits like his. One was wearing a blue suit with what looked like a triceratops design on the helmet. The other was wearing a pink suit with a bird-like design on the helmet. Midoriya thought it was a pterodactyl. Maybe a pteranodon. The green teen also knew from their shapes that both were girls. Midoriya went to approach the 2, but was stopped by a hand on his shoulder. The greenette was surprised to see the blue-haired boy from the auditorium. "It looks like those 2 are trying to focus on the task at hand. What were you going to do? Distract them and ruin their chances to get into UA?" If the boy's eyes had been daggers, they would have pierced through Midoriya's helmet. "I have my eyes on you, helmet head." As the uptight blue-net finished berating Midoriya, Present Mike yelled over the crowd, "Go, go, go! What are you waiting for? There are no start signals in life!" Midoriya used his ranger speed to race ahead of the other test takers. The entrance exam was in full swing. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's sure to expand your weeb knowledge for all kinds of series, guaranteed. On top of that, we have a third channel called We the Celestials Naruto What Ifs. It's what we do on this channel already, but in the vast world and lore of Naruto. Go check it out if you're in the mood for some jutsu action. I'd like to let you all know, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. If you're perhaps interested in what we do here at WTC, then I would like to extend out an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being, we only accept members 16 and older in our crew. You can find us on our Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is an all-around fantastic place to be. Whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits, all you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whichever category of work fulfills your interests. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and have a great day.